A 12-year-old girl brought home a baby dragon. She had no idea what she was getting herself into. Lena Morgan wasn't supposed to be in the forest after dark, especially not Dragonwood. Her parents warned her about the strange lightning storms, the whispering trees, the old legends about creatures that didn't belong. But Lena had always been a little too curious for her own good. That's why, when she heard the faint chirping from behind a fallen log, half whimper, half growl, she couldn't help but investigate. That's where she found it. A scaly little lump the size of a puppy. It had torn wings, cracked claws, and smoke curling from its tiny nostrils. It sneezed, and a little puff of flame singed her bangs. "A dragon," she whispered. "A baby dragon." It blinked up at her with glowing gold eyes and let out a pitiful squeak. So naturally, Lena stuffed it in her backpack and took it home. Hiding a dragon turned out to be much harder than expected. For one, it kept trying to eat the family cat. For another, it had a habit of setting off the smoke alarm every time it sneezed. And worst of all, it grew fast. In 3 days, it went from rabbit-sized to raccoon-sized. Its scales darkened into a shimmering violet blue, and little horns poked through its head like crooked gemstones. Lena named him Ember. She kept him in the attic, feeding him scrambled eggs and bits of leftover stew. She even sewed him a blanket nest from old clothes and set up a fan to cool his overheating body. She loved him instantly, but she had no idea what she'd gotten herself into. On the 7th night, the window cracked open on its own. Wind swept in, full of the scent of pine and ozone. And with it came the howls. Not wolves, not coyotes. Something deeper, older. Lena peeked outside and saw eyes watching from the tree line. Slitted, gleaming, too high up to belong to any animal she knew. Ember hissed and crouched, wings flaring. Suddenly, words, not spoken, but felt, brushed across her mind. "Return what is ours." She slammed the window shut. The next day, everything got weirder. Birds stopped chirping. The neighborhood dogs barked nonstop. Her mom's car wouldn't start, and her little brother claimed his dreams were filled with lizards with glowing teeth. Lena skipped school and biked to the library. She dug into old town records, local legends, anything about Dragonwood. That's when she found it. A child born during lightning. A beast born during fire. Should the two meet, the wild kin shall awaken and the hunt will begin. She slammed the book shut, heart hammering. Had she just started some kind of ancient dragon prophecy? That night, they came. 3 shadows glided through the sky, wings like torn sails. Not dragons, hunters. Tall, gaunt creatures with armor that shimmered like smoke and claws that gleamed silver. They landed near her house, completely silent. Ember yowled. Lena grabbed her flashlight and her bat and stood between the dragon and the window. "You can't have him. He is bonded. He must die before the bond completes." "No!" They moved fast, but so did Ember. With a roar that shook the floorboards, the baby dragon leapt forward, slamming into the first shadow being with a burst of flame and fury. The second creature shrieked as Lena swung her bat, smacking it in the leg. The third raised a strange spear of glowing ice. And Lena did the unthinkable. She stood in front of Ember. "Leave us alone," she screamed. The spear froze midair. The hunters stopped. They looked at her. Really looked. Then they backed away and vanished into mist. Lena didn't sleep that night. Neither did Ember. She held him close, despite the heat, despite the crackle of magic running through her scales. The next morning, her reflection looked different. Not older, but somehow braver. Her eyes shimmered faintly gold. She met with Mrs. Gellert the next day, her neighbor, a quiet widow who always tended her herb garden and smelled like cinnamon and thunder. Mrs. Gellert invited her inside. I figured it out, Lena said quietly. You're one of them, a witch or a keeper. The old woman smiled. So, the prophecy's begun again. What do I do? You train, said Mrs. Gellert. You protect that dragon. Because you're not just a girl anymore. Lena, you're a warden. A what? A chosen protector. You bonded with a wildborn. That hasn't happened in centuries. But if you don't master the bond, others will come, stronger than the last, and they won't stop. So Lena trained, after school, before bed, on weekends. Mrs. Gellert taught her how to shield Ember's mind, how to summon sparks with her bare hands, how to hear the wind's warnings and trace glowing paths between stars. Ember grew faster now, not just in size, but in intelligence. He learned to fly. He learned to fight. He learned to love. Months later, the town was still. No more shadow hunters. But Lena knew the peace wouldn't last forever. One day, something worse would come. Something ancient. Something bound to destroy what she now held dear. But she also knew this. She would be ready, because a 12-year-old girl who once had a dragon in her attic was now a guardian of magic, and she never ran for what she loved.